Peace be with you, everyone. Welcome to the channel. My name is Trevor. Very grateful to have you here. And today's video is going to be a recap of the 8 fragrances that I wore last week, rounding out the second week of February here, 2024. So it has been a little bit of a mixed bag in terms of events and weather patterns that we've had. We've swung all the way from close to 50 degrees Fahrenheit into the 20-degree Fahrenheit range, with snow on one day and bright, sunny, stroll in the park style weather, almost spring-like on some of the other days. So I'm going to get right into the rotation here, starting off with Monday. Homme de Caron Le Soir. This is a fragrance that I recently did a full review on, but the gist of it is somewhat like Le Male Le Parfum, with a woodier, smokier oak note that really kind of brings this regal facet to the fragrance. And then the lavender in here is taken from the original Homme de Caron, which is a signature lavender for the house, and really a stunning fragrance in my opinion. Very debonair, I think, is somewhat of the theme of the week this week. But beautiful purple fragrance, if I had to think of a color to associate with this as well. Beautiful purple, iris, a little bit of violet and lavender all coming together to create a perfect, beautiful masculine iris. So that's Homme de Caron Le Soir from Monday. Tuesday I wore 2 fragrances. The first one, Dayside, was Chanel Egoiste, the original Eau de Toilette version. A little bit difficult to see. There we go. I put it up against my coffee mug. You can kind of get the writing on the bottle there. This is somewhat like a cold, powdery chai latte. You get this nice, almost creamy facet from a sandalwood with the peppered flakes of spice from things like cinnamon, and a cold facet from the rose, which is really a beautiful component of this fragrance that makes it very debonair, masculine, elegant, a little bit floral, but in a very mature way. There's a little bit of a green touch to the rose in here, I would say, as well, but one of my favorites to wear casually, I would say, because it does have a very inoffensive office style appeal to it, but like I said, in a very chai latte sort of way. So something that I reach for oftentimes in the winter, ranging all the way from the holiday season in December up through here in the second week of February. So that was Chanel Egoiste for Tuesday, Dayside, which I started the day very early. I was on the road at like 5 a.m. to get up to Chicago. Sadly, we had some heavy news bore upon the family, and that my newborn son, Dean, he sadly was diagnosed with cystic fibrosis, which is like a rare genetic disorder which affects, I think, less than 100,000 people worldwide. So been somewhat processing that event in my life, and so it's been a little bit of a rough week in terms of making content and even getting emotionally involved in the wearing experiences that I've been having, because my preoccupation with the life events have been so elsewhere than fragrance. But this is what I was wearing at the doctor's offices when we went up to Chicago to see the specialist on Tuesday morning. So, and appreciate any of my fellows in the community that are of faith denominations. All prayers would be greatly appreciated for him and his mother's well-being at this time. So Tuesday evening, this was Dior Homme Intense. This is what I rocked to work that night. I ended up going in the evening. Normally I work all day Tuesday, but I took the mornings off to drive up to the city with my family. And this is just one of my favorite fragrances, point blank period. The Parfum, one of my favorite smells, if not my #1 favorite smell of all time. But this beautiful lipsticky, waxy, textured chocolate and floral iris is a little bit of a leathery touch as well. Just something that I adore wearing. Even though it's not as well received by people that aren't in the fragrance community, it is just such a luxurious, indulgent wearing experience that I really appreciated for the cold days that we've been having here, rounding out the beginning of the week. And it only got colder as the week progressed. By Friday we ended up getting snow, whereas last Friday it was almost 60 degrees Fahrenheit. So in these intermittent days, transitioning from the winter into the spring. However, this was a welcome companion for my Thursday, which I'm skipping ahead a little bit, sorry. Wednesday was Valentine's Day, and I wore Tom Ford's Noir de Noir for Valentine's Day. Chocolate and rose are really the two main accords you get here. So far, I would say everything that I've worn this week up to Wednesday's Noir de Noir is something that I've really enjoyed. They're all fragrances that I would definitely recommend, this one being chocolate and roses. And I have tried a few alternatives to this, and I would say just pick up the original, even though yeah, there's not really much I have to say against this fragrance. I thought it didn't last as long, but I think I was going nose blind because after a few wearings, I still was picking this up after a full work day, so at least 7 hours. But you get that really nice chocolatey rose quality, a patchouli note in here as well that accents the chocolatey quality, and something that is very rich, deep, and dense, which is the facet that I didn't get in the alternatives, such as Club de Nuit Intense Woman, and while better than the Club de Nuit, Sublime Rose from Angel Schlescher is another one that I like, but I think is a little bit too sharp and musky compared to the rich, rounded smoothness of this Noir de Noir, and was a great wearing experience for me on Wednesday. That was Valentine's Day Noir de Noir from Tom Ford. And then, like I said, these intermittent days transitioning from winter to spring, I love to wear Barbershop Fougères. They're some of my favorite fragrances and my favorite genre, point blank period, but Masculin Pluriel was a new one to the collection, and got a really good Instagram pic of this one on Thursday. It was a beautiful, very cold, brisk day, but the sky was pristine blue and the clouds were perfectly fluffy, and this was just a perfect fragrance to wear during that time of the year, because it looks like spring on the horizon, the way that the sun and the sky and the clouds are presenting themselves very jubilantly and lively, whereas the weather is still very cold and brisk. And I think there's a really beautiful cedar note in here that delivers the masculine quality of this while also keeping it a little bit powdery and woody and accenting the wintertime very well. And so beautiful lavender and cedar is really the main facets I get from this. There were points of the wearing experience that it felt almost like a blue fougere. Reminded me a little bit at times of something like Dylan Blue. I don't know if anyone else has gotten that comparison, but there was a little bit of that fruity nuance going on in here, fresh out of the shower, kind of clean, even though it's really creamy and just awesome stuff. First wearing experience with it though, so I'm still getting to know it somewhat, but it was perfect for the day that I was wearing it, I think, and I'll put the Instagram pic up on screen as well that I got of it. I took it on top of the windshield of one of the cars in our delivery fleet. So that was Masculin Pluriel from MFK for Thursday. Friday is the day I like to wear niche fragrances, and this is one I haven't reached for in a very long time, and I'm really glad that I did. It's a beautiful chocolate booze and ambery fragrance, and leather. Chocolate booze, amber, leather are really the main accords that I get out of this, and it dries down into this really nice, dried marshmallow feeling, like a marshmallow s'more. It reminded me a little bit of the smell of like a s'mores blizzard from Dairy Queen. This is the Siren from the original Zed creators of Zaharoff. Like I said, the opening is very nice, rugged, and rich. You get that rich amber, and then the rugged leather, and the chocolatey quality is very somewhat bitter and has a darkness to it. Excellent stuff. The boozy quality is also very apparent in here, very decadent and sensual and seductive, and like I said, it dries down into really nice, simple, toasted marshmallow quality accord. Really glad that I busted this one out. It is something that I somewhat put away for special occasions because it is a hard to find fragrance, but nonetheless stunning stuff. And the closest thing that I've gotten to this that's still available is a perfume oil from Tarifa Tar. This is Granada Amber, which I think gets a lot of the rugged, smokier qualities that this one has going on, in addition to the amber. So that was the Siren for Friday. Beautiful wearing experience. Moving on to Saturday, another discontinued fragrance. You can still kind of find these. I think they pop up at Fragrance Net from time to time. But this is Armani Code Absolu. This is one of the most vivid first impressions that I ever had with a fragrance. Smelling it at a Sephora really almost felt like I had a lot of serotonin pumping through my brain after smelling the vanilla in this. Amazing, sensual, deep, rich, creamy. A little bit something that I've moved away from in terms of my taste now further into my fragrance journey. I'm getting more into greens and barbershop fragrances and fresh, clean, simple style fragrances, but this early on in my journey, these sweet decadent fragrances, stuff like this in Eros, really kind of blew my mind and appealed to my taste at the time. This has a really nice sort of leathery texture in it as well, and a nice citrusy quality over the top that livens it up and gives it a little bit of more dimension than other things in the same vein in the cheapy category, I want to say. Something like like a Salvatore Ferragamo Uomo is really nice, but a little bit more linear than this. And they both have that really, really awesome, well done vanilla though. So sadly discontinued, but keep your eye out for it on fragrance groups on Facebook, as well as mailing lists on places like Fragrance Net. They do get it in from time to time. So definitely worth checking out. One of the better vanilla fragrances, point blank period, in my collection. Armani Code Absolu. Okay, and then finally for Sunday, I think this was the only one that I had a little bit of a mismatched feeling with in terms of wearing. I really liked the scent profile, but I felt it was not the right day for it when I was rocking it. It was a day similar to the kind of day I had with Masculin Pluriel, very cold but spring and lively outside. And the spices in here are really nice and have a little bit of a green touch to them, but I felt they would have been done a lot better service by wearing them in harmony with an aesthetic that featured the fall autumnal leaves and the orange style color schemes, whereas this wasn't jiving the best with that transitional period between winter and spring where there's snow melting but the grass is starting to green and the sky is blue and fluffy cloud filled. This one, while beautiful wearing experience, nice textured powdery quality from this well done cardamom in here, just didn't click quite how I wanted it to for Sunday. So that was the only one. While I still recommend this fragrance, think it's better suited for fall and winter than this winter-spring transition. So that was rounding out my week for Sunday Cartier Declaration Parfum. So let me know in the comment section down below your weekly rotation. Let me know if you've tried any of these and what your thoughts on them are, if you like them or didn't like them. And as always, I really appreciate you sticking with me to the end of the video. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.